Hey there, it's time for another broadcast. It's your boy, or girl. You shouldn't assume my gender like that. I'm doing a video now about this comic here, the Spectre. And he is not the most famous of all the superheroes, but look at him. He is holding the earth in his hand. Or maybe that is just a globe. That is a lot less impressive. I'll have to start by just describing the Spectre to you a bit, but actually, straight up, this text here does a pretty good job. The ghostly guardian returns to Earth for vengeance. He is basically a ghost man, but like a good one. Well, not like a goody two-shoes, not like Casper, but he is not a bad ghost, like in the film Poltergeist. He is kind of in the middle. He's more on the same level as Patrick Swayze in the film Ghost. Spectre, though, he shares a body with a police detective called Phil Spectre. There's a few different takes over the years on how they share a body or share an existence. I tell you what, I probably should have started with one of the comics that tell his origin. Right, basically, God, the real God, the God that made everything, and Jesus. Well, Spectre, he is like God's ghost of vengeance. He goes after evil sinners and criminals as Spectre, and he kills them. He's actually really, really powerful. He is considered one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe. Because he is like God's servant, so he's got God power. I don't know if Spectre is in the Bible, but if he is, let us know, because I like Spectre and I'd like to read his early stories and that. So we start the story, and actually, you know what? Before we start the story, we've got this little essay here by Robert Hale. I don't know who he is or what gives him the authority to write this at the start of a comic, but his opinion here is wrong. His core idea is that comics should be good and not concerned about continuity. That's an alright idea, but his take on it is that comics should just get rid of all continuity, and if a story has very bad continuity, it doesn't matter as long as it is good. He says shite like Christmas on Infinite Earths, which was one of DC's biggest, most popular events ever. He says that it was a waste of time because there was so much continuity in it. Well, the thing is, if you take all the continuity out of Christmas on Infinite Earths, you're just left with a story where one day Barry Allen woke up and then he died. And the idea that stories can be told without using continuity, that is fine. There's loads of stories like that. But the idea that stories can be told with bad continuity is fucking awful. Here he says that Dark Knight Returns is great because it doesn't have continuity. That is not the reason that people have been praising it for years. They don't go, oh, The Dark Knight Returns is great because it doesn't mention any old stories. But the thing is also, Robert Hill, he clearly hasn't a fucking clue what continuity is, because if it didn't have any continuity, it'd be like suddenly Batman's origin is that he is Bob Batman and he was bit by a radioactive bat and he has a tail for some reason. So Robert Hale, whoever you are, you have an awful opinion. And I tell you what, it was this exact way of thinking that led to atrocious comic book editors like Axel Alonso and Tom Brevoort. So, Mr. Hale, I hold you personally responsible for those pricks. But when we start the actual comic, right, the comic has continuity in it. It refers to a lot of other stories. So, I have no idea why they're spotlighting these ramblings of an idiot at the start of the book. It has no relevance at all. Also, there is a much, much better text piece at the back written by the book's editor. who talks about the Spectre and his publishing history. Put that at the start. Anyway, we start off and we've got this woman here, and she is working in an office, like in the Richard Gervais TV show The Office, and she is singing along to some music. Blink-a-dink-a-wink-a-dink-a-tink-a-doo. The thing is, that's not even a song. Like, imagine being one of these people, like, if you shared an office with her. Her going on like that, just mumbling away, singing. It would drive her up the bloody tree. This character, though, she is like the Spectre's girlfriend. She's kind of carefree, and you know what? She probably refers to herself as wacky, actually. I don't think I like her anymore now. Then we have got the Spectre, and he is massive. He is so massive that they couldn't keep him on one page. And we've got all this writing here, and I'm not that keen on it. It comes off a bit like it's trying to be deep, and it just sounds like rubbish that Christopher Clairvoyant would write. I mean, shit like this here. He has never lived, but he is now dead. Stupid, that. His eyes are stars spaced 23 light years apart, yet the light is lifeless. It's just rubbish. Utter rubbish. What's happening is, much to Robert Hale's chagrin, this comic is referring to another comic. In Christmas on Infinite Earths, which was like the big universe-ending event, Spectre, he failed to save the day, and I think he died. Like, proper died. Like, he's already dead because he is a ghost. But then the ghost died too. But now God, the real God, has decided to bring Spectre back because it was unfair to leave him dead just because the odds were stacked against him in Christmas on Infinite Earths. And the good thing is, to annoy Robert Hale even further, there is a reference to another story, Albert Moore's Man-Thing, when heaven and hell went to war. Look, there is Man-Thing and Dead Boy. Spectre was in that story too. Then we're back on Earth. We have Phil Spectre, Spectre's human host. He is a police detective, but because Spectre is dead, he is dead too. So his partner in the police is starting to look for him. And elsewhere, that woman, she just randomly quits her job. As I said, she is wacky. But when she storms out here, right, there's this bit here. And her strange spunk leaves zombies baffled, speechless. I think I am missing a page, or that they have censored it, because they're talking about spunk, but I didn't see any. Is that it there? Like in her hair? Is it like in that film, Mary is Something? Is that meant to be coming at her? Oh God, she is wacky, isn't she? But with Spectre, right, we're back with him. God has decided to limit his powers. He's taken a lot of them away. Like in the past, he could like juggle planets. And obviously, it's kind of hard to write a book about a character that is that powerful. So they're kind of like scaling him back and just kind of making him into a regular kind of ghost. I will say, the cover, very bad choice. Why would you have him holding the Earth if the comic is going to establish that he is no longer capable of doing it? And here is where the comic lost me. The wacky woman stumbles into this magician's house. She is Xanadu by Olivia Newton-John and Electric Light Orchestra. And she starts doing tarot cards. Now, I have a rule, a very strict rule when it comes to comics. If any comic features a tarot card anywhere, then it is immediately an awful comic book. So that is a shame. What this is all building up to is they are bringing Spectre and Phil Spectre back. And, where are we? And if you look here, Phil's partner, right? he goes to Phil's house and he finds an evil bottle of ketchup. I mean, this is comics for me. Evil bottle of ketchup. That is perfect. That is like the most original idea since a little somebody called Stanley Lee invented the lettering process. I mean, an evil bottle of ketchup. That is fucking class. But don't forget there was fucking taro in this. So this comic could have been brilliant. We cut back and stuff starts flying around because Spectre and Phil Spectre are being reborn. And then we've got this little cutaway to a Satanist. He's going to be the baddie, I reckon. Or like the second baddie after the ketchup. Or maybe him and the ketchup are in cahoots together. Maybe he is like an evil jar of mayonnaise in disguise as a human. Oh, I love comics, me. So what happens is Phil, Spectre and the Spectre are reborn, and we have the evil ketchup some more. Look at it, evil ketchup, that is fucking brilliant. And we've got loads of information about how Phil Spectre and Spectre are bonded now. They can coexist, but it hurts when Phil when they're split up. And we get all this set up, and we get all this set up about Phil now starting a career as a private investigator with the wacky woman as his assistant. It seems a bit sudden and out of nowhere, but I'm sure they're saying that Xanadu knew it all because of her fucking stupid plot convenience cards. And then what happens is we have the Satanist again, and he's on the phone with another Satanist. And this other Satanist, he is such a Satanist that he has a bunch of flies on his face in the shape of a pentagram. That is a good effort, really. Like, how does he keep them there? I'm assuming they're alive as well. It's an odd look to go for, but also if you take a closer look, they aren't in the shape of a pentagram. Like they're not even parallel. Like I actually had on right. Right, I'll draw it right because I don't want it. I'm going to draw it on a sheet of paper because I didn't want to ruin the comic because it would ruin my Spectre collection. Oh look, here's one I made earlier. Right, if you look, yeah, I've copied the layout of the flies there, and that is a pentagram. Of course, some people think that the pentagram is meant to go that well. I think in Satanist circles it is more commonly done this way, but pentagram traditionally is meant to be like that, and that's obviously the one that he has gone for. Right, so let's just you could join the dots. The most obvious way that I would do it would be just like doing a really weird triangle, but that's obviously not what he meant. So I need something to rest on. So I'm going to try and join these flies up like a pentagram. Like that is not a pentagram. That is a pentagram. That is not a pentagram. So this bloke with his flies, like, it's embarrassing to go to all that effort with the flies and for them to not even make a proper pentagram. Right? And now you must train them all, and flies don't live long, so you must keep training new flies just to be in the shape of a pentagram, but it's not even in the right places. And then we end with the evil ketchup. He has transformed Phil's partner into wet cardboard. And I am on board for the evil ketchup story. He is my type of villain. There is an advert there for the Justice League. There's Dr. Fates, Blue Beetles, Dr. Miracles, Captain Marvel, the real one, Billy Batson. I'll tell you what, this comic is full of ideas. But unfortunately, it also features tarot cards prominently. So I've got to say that this comic is awful and you should not read it. I rate it 7 thumbs up.